Hey guys, today we're going to be checking out some interesting camera gear from Lowepro. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at their Truckee 250 BP backpack, their GearBox camera cube, and their GearUP Wrap organizer pouch. And this is my first experience with Lowepro's products. I've always heard great things. I know they're very well known in the camera space, so I was excited to have a chance to check out a variety of the things that they have to offer. I actually gave a brief preview of this in the travel gear roundup video that I did recently, if you want to check that out. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about what it's been like to use these over the past couple of weeks. I'll show you how I've loaded them out, walk through all the features, and I'll also talk about how they compare to some of the other similar items that are currently on the market. Before jumping into the video, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Danny, and on this channel, we love reviewing popular travel and everyday carry gear. If you like these types of videos and you'd be interested in seeing more, please consider subscribing as it helps the channel out a lot. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. Starting off with the outside of the bag, the aesthetic here reminds me a little bit of a classic backpack like a JanSport or Herschel Pop Quiz, and I really like this for camera bags as it feels more subdued or less obvious that you're carrying a lot of expensive gear. So that's something that I really liked about the Brevite jumper, and is a nice alternative to some of the other bags sold by Lowepro, which can have a little bit of a tactical vibe, or just other camera bags that are flashier and look a little bit more modern and techy. So I think this works well for a variety of environments. If you're gonna be exploring a city, if you're gonna be traveling, you could potentially even take this into an office. As far as the materials, the bag feels pretty solidly built. This exterior fabric feels kind of like a ripstop nylon or polyester. This bottom section feels a little more like polyester. So the fabrics feel fairly lightweight while still offering a decent amount of weather resistance, and they seem like they're gonna hold up pretty well to rougher usage, particularly this bottom area, which is kind of a tarpaulin-like material. It feels a little more rugged. And so definitely not as rugged feeling as some of the more premium camera bags that we've looked at on the channel, but it seems to strike a nice balance to just manage the weight and help keep the price point of the bag a little bit lower. And that extends to the zippers, which have worked well. They feel like they're pretty reliable, they work smoothly, but I do not believe that they are YKK. Continuing along the outside of the bag, I was happy to see that you have two external water bottle pockets, one on each side, and they offer a pretty decent amount of space. I was easily able to fit a 20-ounce water bottle, which is what I typically have with me. And then the compartment has a good amount of elasticity, so it's gonna work well for bulkier items. And then just kind of hug the bag when it's not in use. And above the water bottle pocket, you also have compression straps, which is really nice for hanging on additional accessories that don't fit on the inside. Or if you wanna hold something taller in the water bottle pocket, like a tripod, this is gonna combine really nicely, so I can rest the tripod leg in the pocket, secure it at the top, and be able to access it easily. On the front of the bag, you have the Lowepro logo, which blends in pretty well. You just have a little pop of color here. That might be the biggest giveaway that this is actually a camera bag, but overall it doesn't stand out too much. And then at the top, you have a simple handle. It's not very thick, but this kind of nylon that they've used here doesn't feel like it's going to tear, and still big enough to be able to easily grab or maybe hang the bag up. And then as far as the capacity, the bag comes in at about 18 liters, which is a really nice daily bag size in my opinion. I was able to hold most of the items that I normally like to carry with me, particularly if I'm not carrying a ton of camera gear. And I like that the bag doesn't really feel overwhelmingly big. It does hold its shape, so even when it's emptier, it doesn't get super slim, but overall, it still felt very manageable for navigating crowded areas, jumping onto public transit, and carrying on to pretty much any domestic or international airline. Taking a look at the harness system, so far the bag has been pretty comfortable to wear. The straps have a nice amount of padding. It's not the most robust padding, but it still offers plenty of comfort on the inside. It's also fairly breathable to help prevent moisture from building up, and these straps have a pretty good width to help prevent the bag from digging into your shoulders when it's a little bit more packed out. On the straps, you also have a couple of loops that you can use to hang additional accessories, maybe a light, hang your sunglasses on there, and you have an adjustable sternum strap to help distribute the weight. Moving into the back paneling, this has also been pretty comfortable. It has the same type of padding that we saw on the straps, and it's well distributed throughout the back. I like that it provides the same level of breathability, and that there's also some elevation to create this air channel here in the middle to give you a little bit more airflow and ventilation while you're walking around. Last thing I'll mention while we're on the back paneling is that you have a nice luggage pass-through that's going to allow you to rest this on a suitcase while traveling to save some weight on your back. Jumping into the organizational options, the bag has a nice variety of pockets all throughout. Starting off at the top, you have a quick access pocket, which has a nice softer lining, so it's going to be good for storing something that's a little bit more delicate. You also have a decent amount of space here, so even for something bulkier like my sunglasses, they fit in there comfortably while leaving enough room for my Apple AirPods. Below that, on the front, you have another quick access pocket, and I like that this does have some volume, so it's not a super flat compartment, which makes it usable for something a little bit bigger like the Tom Bent Ghostwell pouch that I have with some of my smaller tech and EDC items. You can see how much this comes up. And then on the back of this compartment, you have a couple of slip pockets that are going to be good for accessories that you want to be able to reach easily. So on the right here, I have a lightning cable to charge my phone, and then next to that, I have a portable battery, keep my device charged while I'm on the go. And then the last thing in this compartment is a little lanyard with a plastic clip to attach your keys or multi-tool. Behind that, you have a zipper that gives you access to the camera compartment of the bag. I like that the zipper here gives you a little bit of security. You can thread one end through the other. There's also a loop here at the bottom, so you can kind of just put everything in here without actually fully locking it, but it'll make it a little bit harder for a pickpocket to maybe get into the bag. So interesting system there. And then you can actually open this up and you have full access to all of your camera stuff when you place the bag down. First thing I'll call out here is that you don't really have side access to this main area. I know some people really like that, some don't use it that much. So, this doesn't provide that. You have to place the bag down to be able to grab your stuff. On the inside, it's fairly similar to other camera type backpacks that we've seen. You have a couple of adjustable dividers and a good amount of padding all throughout, both on the lid and then inside of the bag. It's got that softer lining, which allows it to work with the divider so that you can move it around. This is going to be great for holding an actual camera body with a few lenses. In my case, I currently have not necessarily my camera stuff because I'm filming, and I have a simpler sort of camera setup in general. So I typically use my bags like these to take my drone, because that's one of the things I use a lot when I'm traveling. Drone with my hard shell case. I have my remote in here. I did toss in an extra battery and charger for my camera for when I'm traveling with that. I have an extra lens and then my GoPro. And so plenty of space there for those types of items. And then I can adjust it depending on my needs. If I actually want to store my camera with a larger lens and then take an extra one, I really like the flexibility of these compartments. And then on the flap, you also have a little small slip pocket where you can store an additional memory card or an adapter or something. Maybe not the type of thing I would use. I would definitely be worried about it falling out, but it's just nice to have it if you want to use it for something. And then taking a look at the main compartment, the bag is kind of divided half and half for daily stuff and camera stuff, like we've seen with bags like the Brevite jumper. So pretty standard setup here, and you have good, easy opening at the top to be able to reach your more daily focused items. And I was able to squeeze in a decent amount even with the camera stuff on the bottom. Here at the top, I have my packable rain jacket. Then you can get a little more visibility into the inside. I have here the TomTalk tech pouch that I have featured in a few videos recently if I want to have a lot of my tech items with me or I'm working remotely. And then I also have one of the gear wraps from Lowepro, which I was really curious to try out. I'm a big fan of just this sort of slimmer style pouch, and it had a pretty interesting aesthetic and layout. It's got a nice aluminum clip to actually secure it. You have a little loop as well, so you can attach something else to it. And this reminded me a little bit of the Wire.Mini. It's got maybe some extra functionality to something like that, but I'm always a fan of any type of pouch that has an interesting layout. This one opens up to reveal a few different sections, so you have a variety of organizational pockets, some slip pockets on one side where I have my portable hard drive, as well as a memory card adapter. And then in the middle, you have a couple of elastic bands for dongles, cables. I have a flashlight here, as well as the USB-C cable for the hard drive. You have a loop where you could clip something on, maybe your keys. You have a slip pocket behind all of that where I currently have my mouse. And then another elastic loop, great for a pen or a stylus. And on the back, you have an additional zippered compartment. It's nice that you can see through to be able to know what you're reaching for. So simple layout overall. I really like the size. This is super easy to toss pretty much anywhere. Of course, with any tool wrap like this, You always have to be mindful of putting bulky items together because it starts to bulge out. It can be tough to actually secure this. It's got some elasticity, but you don't really want to pack it out too much, otherwise you won't be able to close it. So a nice, durable, simple accessory, pretty lightweight. And then that's about it of what I have loaded in there. On the inside, you also have some slip pockets that are great for other accessories that you want to grab quickly. So here I have just the laptop charger for my MacBook Air and power brick just to kind of show the size. And next to that, I have a deck of playing cards, but this could be a portable battery, another mouse, good amount of space there. These don't have elasticity per se, but they do have a pretty good amount of volume. And then one of the nice things about this style of bag is that if you don't want to use it as a camera backpack, you could actually remove the bottom of this section to open it up all the way, and you can remove the dividers and just use this as a traditional daily bag. So that's a really nice amount of flexibility. Even if you take out all of the dividers from the inside here, you could have two separate compartments if you're using this as a travel bag or you want to put some lunch separate from everything else. So really like the flexibility there. Very easy to adapt it to your needs and just take full advantage of the 18-liter capacity. And then on the inside you have a little loop, which I suppose you could use it to hang the bag up and be able to access this area. This doesn't feel super thick, so I'd be worried about it tearing, but I guess it's a nice addition there. And you also have a padded sleeve that's going to be able to hold up to a 15-inch laptop. Currently what I have here is my 13-inch MacBook Pro. You can see there's some leftover space there at the top. And this is a pretty well padded sleeve. It's pretty thick. You have some padding on the back. It is not suspended off the bottom of the ground, but there is some padding here, so it doesn't feel like your device is completely exposed when you're placing your bag down. And so pulling my device out, I do wish that this had been a separate compartment as opposed to mixed into this main area. When this is loaded out, it can be a little bit tricky to get your device out, so I do wish that it was maybe just a separate area on the back. Regardless, it offers a good amount of space. It comes up a decent amount, so if you have a thicker device, you should be able to make it fit, especially if you don't have this area all completely packed out. No sort of fleece lining, but with the amount of padding that's added here, it still feels like your device is going to be pretty well protected while you're on the go. So, you know, I really like the simple layout offered in this main area and throughout the rest of the bag. It's great how flexible everything is, that you have a nice variety of pockets. And if you're looking for a reliable camera bag that's going to have a little bit more of a classic look and that's going to be able to keep your stuff protected, then this is going to be a solid option to take a look at. The last item we're going to be taking a look at is the GearBox, which is really cool as it will kind of allow you to turn any backpack or bag into a camera bag. I'm always a big fan of these modular style cubes so that you can kind of set up all the accessories that you need to carry with you on a particular day, and then you can put it in, take it out depending on what you need. You can buy a couple of different cubes and, you know, have like a drone setup and then a vlogging setup with a microphone. There's a lot of different options. They come in 3 different sizes. The one that I have here is the large, and so it's going to give you a little bit of extra space. We'll take a look at the inside in a second. The exterior here, very much in line with what you'd expect for this type of accessory. So pretty functional looking. You have a compression strap on the outside. You can maybe attach a smaller tripod or something that doesn't fit on the inside. You have handles at the top and on the side, so when you place it into your bag, very easy to get it out. You could also just use it to carry the cube itself. It has some loops on the sides that would allow you to pair with a shoulder strap if you wanted to use it as kind of a standalone camera bag. And this feels pretty rugged. This fabric it feels kind of like the polyester that we saw on the bag. A little bit of ripstop here at the top. In general though, it feels very well padded, so like your stuff is going to be able to, you know, kind of be safe from bumps and drops, especially when you're in a bag with other things. And so taking a look at how I've loaded this out, on the front you have a simple zippered quick access pocket. So at the moment I just placed my wired headphones back in here. You can easily see what's on the inside. This can get a little bit tight, it doesn't have a ton of volume, so it's definitely for something smaller. You have a slip pocket on the back as well, which I didn't really use for too much, but nice that you have it, maybe for some documentation, a little notebook or something. And then you have the zipper that kind of goes all the way around. You have to release the compression strap, but because it has 2 zipper pulls, one that can go in either direction, you can kind of just reach down and use this as kind of a top loading cube if you want to be able to just pull your camera out quickly. but then you can also open it fully flat so you have visibility and the ability to reorient the dividers that are included with the cube depending on your needs for a particular day. So starting off on the flap itself, you have some built-in organization here, little slot for an SD card, which is what I currently have in there. I like that this one actually has it covered as opposed to the one we saw on the backpack where it could have actually, as opposed to the one we saw on the backpack where it could have accidentally slipped out. This feels a little more secure. Then you have just a simple small pocket for a pen or a stylus, and then a deeper slip pocket, which I use for the cable and hard drive that I showed a little bit earlier in the video. And then on the other side, you can see here the same type of padding. It's pretty thick that we saw in the backpack, and Velcro dividers here. So it's nice that they've included a couple of different sizes so you can really kind of use this depending on the gear that you're carrying. I again tossed in my drone because I'm using my camera to film at the moment, and I also put my GoPro and my additional lens. So that's pretty much the majority of the camera accessories that I have. But you know, if you have a lens, a body, a mic, things like that, it should be able to fit in there comfortably. You can put it into any bag that you're using and then just leave it when you don't need your camera gear for a day. And just a really cool, versatile, simple accessory if you're in the market for something that's not a brand new camera bag. You just want something a little bit more flexible that you can swap between other bags that's gonna keep your stuff protected. And this can be a really great option to take a look at. And so to wrap up, it's been a pretty great experience testing out these accessories from Lowepro over the past couple of weeks. You can currently purchase them on the company site or Amazon, starting at about $27 or $28 for the GearUP Wrap. The creator boxes, the price point's gonna vary depending on the size that you get. So the large version that I featured in the video comes in at around $60, I believe. And then the backpack is regularly priced at around $110. I have seen it as low as $55, so definitely a steal at that price point. But at their regular price points, they feel pretty reasonable given the features and the build quality and compare well to other similar items in these price ranges. And so as I was testing these out, the first bag this made me think of is the Brevite Jumper, which has been one of my favorite camera bags of the past couple of years. Like this one, it has a pretty kind of simple, subdued style. It doesn't look that much like a camera bag. It reminds me of a JanSport style bag, but it has camera organization and protection on the inside. It's got an adjustable layout. I like that that one has side access to the camera. It's got a luggage pass-through, a separate laptop compartment, which I actually like that it's separate from the main area. So a nice improvement there, and just a really simple but useful layout. I do think that this one is gonna be a little bit more comfortable to wear and the materials feel more weather resistant, but if you're looking for a camera bag that's got this kind of a style that doesn't look too much like a camera bag and that's just gonna offer a nice organizational layout and protection for your stuff, then that's gonna be a solid option to consider. The next items these made me think of are the Moment Travel Wear collection, which was recently updated. I've been using the original version of that for a while. I'm a huge fan of the backpack as it has a very subdued style. It's actually just a really great day bag, but then Moment has an ecosystem of accessories that are meant to pair with it to turn it into a camera backpack. So that camera cube works well. It's adjustable, very protective. The bag itself has a really great organizational layout in addition to a cool style. It's comfortable, durable. I'm excited to see what they've updated in the second edition. And then they also have a couple of organizer pouches that work well with the bag. So just a really solid ecosystem, durable, and if you're looking for something that, again, just has a little bit more of a minimalistic style that's still gonna offer a lot of flexibility, then those are gonna be fantastic options to take a look at. And then the last option that I'll mention here is the Wandered Provoke, which I've been a big fan of for many years now. Very durable and comfortable bag that has a roll top layout, so it's gonna give you some flexibility as far as the capacity and also some additional protection against the elements. The build quality on that is gonna be a little bit more durable than this one here. It's also heavier, but it has just a great flexible layout for camera gear. If you have a little bit more of a hardcore setup, they offer it in multiple sizes, and they have a lot of different camera inserts that you can organize, customize based off of your needs. And it opens up clamshell style so you can easily access everything. It's got a good laptop compartment, solid harness system, and it's just a really great versatile bag that can also work for travel, particularly if you get one of the larger sizes. So, you know, Wandered in general has just a really good suite of camera focused bags and gear, but the Provoke is the one that I come back to the most. And you know, if you're looking for something that, you know, is gonna be with you for a long time to come and keep your stuff easy to access and very well protected, then that's gonna be a great option to take a look at. With that being said, the backpack and accessories from Lowepro hold up pretty well against all those options, and if you're looking for more budget-friendly but still reliable and protective camera gear, then these are going to be some really solid options to take a look at. And I'm definitely curious to hear what you all think of these items from Lowepro and how they compare to some of the other popular camera bags and gear that are currently on the market. And if there's any similar options that you think I should check out, as always, please let me know in the comments. And I want to thank the company for sending the bag for me to test out, and to you guys for watching and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like, and if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos, and we'll see you in the next one.